And all those cars we build, the first month and a half worth of cars we're going to stockpile, and they're all going to be built, protected, climate controlled. We can't ship them out because we're waiting for a certification. We actually have a federal regulation. They made one mistake in September for the emissions. And until we get that paperwork, we can't ship the cars. So that's what's going on. So we have to hold on to the cars, but the minute that we get that paperwork, we'll be shipping the cars out about the second week of February. And they'll be coming in droves. They'll be coming by the truckload. So please be patient with us. But the good news is we're taking that downtime and making the cars absolutely nuts. You know, highest quality Viper you've ever seen. So the car I drove down is actually the Top Gear car. That car was on his, we went into Top Gear for 3...
When is that air?
That should air in about March or so. They filmed everything in Southwest America. They took it all over the place. If you look at the front end closely, they drove it through the desert, salt flats, we think, we don't know. They were doing some nutty stuff. The LFA was part of that, and the new Aston Martin was part of that. They love the car. I don't know what they're going to say, who knows. But I know Richard Hammond's a big fan of the car. So that car has some story to it. I'm going to take that car to Key West tomorrow morning. I'm going to drive it all the way down to the tip of Key West, and then I'm going to take it from Key West all the way to Jay Leno. For 3 days, I'm going to drive across the country because Jay gave me some shit. I took the New York show car to him, and I wouldn't let him drive it because it was a show car. It had a lot of things wrong with it, and he was really upset on his Twitter feed and all that stuff. So I said, okay, I'm going to bring you a car. I'm going to hand him the keys, and he's going to drive this 7,000-mile Viper. So I can't wait to see his look on his face when he drives that car. We have a special relationship. We go way back, but that's how we roll. I can't wait to see the adventures. You know, every time you get in your car, something happens. There's an adventure. When I drove that car down from Michigan, through the snow, in the ice, I went through 3 different little mini storms. Truckers were putting their phone cameras out. People were slowing down on the freeway. It's amazing. You know, the Viper still has an incredible ability to get people to just stand up and pay attention. And all of them knew what it was. Some of them took a little while to figure out, is that a new Viper? And I love when they say it, is that a new Viper? Viper is an adjective, it's a thing, it's a word, it's bigger than us. It means something to these car lovers, right? And kids, adults, you name it, they get it. And they're all happy. Every one of them is happy to see it come alive again. And that's what warms my heart. So at the end of the day, I think what I want to say is that, you know, we're really, really happy this car's alive. It wasn't easy. I risked my job, honestly, to make this car happen. But eventually, one by one, everybody in the company got behind it. They understood it. They are all intoxicated. Now, all the management team members, we have 26 of them on the board, they're all waiting in line. Ralph, when can I get my ride in the car? Right? So they all get it. They all understand it. And lastly, before I go, I'm going to straighten this whole Motor Trend thing up. They tested the car. Actually, I've been emailing back and forth with the editors of Motor Trend. Not Car and Driver yet, because I just saw the Car and Driver article today. And the car is different. It has a character. Right? It's not for everybody. It's the performance is there. Our own test drivers, we had a ZR1 for over 2.5 years during development of the new car. We know that car cold inside and out, and we know with the right driver in hands, we can beat it on any track. Acceleration is close certain times. With the right launch, we can out-accelerate the ZR1 in handling terms. The ZR1's a little easier to get to the limits, but the Viper's limits are higher. You just have to be skilled. But to me, that's the beauty of having a Viper is that mastery of the machine. Yes, and once you master it, the joy is unbelievable. It's such a pleasure. And our race car drivers talk about it. They just fall in love with the car because it has that character. A lot of the cars out there are boring. There's nothing. And once you get to that limit of most modern day sports cars, you just yawn. There's nothing there. The Viper just never stops being scintillating and exciting. So I'm not going to give that up. I'm not ashamed of that. I think that's really cool. It's on them to learn how to drive a damn car. So we're going to figure out the last little details, work with them, but we're going to test, we're going to bring 3 cars back to them with our drivers, and they're going to measure Randy against Dominic Fonbacher and see who can put the lap down.
Are you going to hit the Nürburgring with it?
Oh yeah, so we're going to hit the Nürburgring sometime in the spring. But no one's beat the record yet. It's about 3 years old. No one's beat the Nürburgring record so far. Yes. We will. So questions real quick about the launch of the car. Again, it's end of February. The convertible, before you ask me, is about 2 years out. Most of that is because it takes that long to satisfy all the orders for the coupe. We're fully ordered out. The ACR is about the same time. The ACR I have to do a little earlier for homologation means if I want to go racing I have to make the ACR, so I'm going to do that pretty quick. Any questions before I finish up here?
On the ACR, can you know